Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
By far, one of my favorite moments this entire offseason. Didn't come in free agency, didn't come in the form of a trade, didn't come in a draft pick, didn't come in an undrafted free agent. It was when we thought the roster was all said and done and buttoned up. The 49ers go and add a player that was just out there on the streets. But a player the 49ers Rush team has been really, really high on for 3 consecutive years. That's wide receiver Malik Knowles. Now, I know you're like, wait, who? This was one of our Rush Crush draft prospects 2 years ago in the draft. And the whole time I was watching him out of Kansas State, he's a wide receiver, kick returner, jet sweep, specialist. The whole time I watched him was just, man, this dude loves football. He fits everything that Kyle Shanahan loves with the wide receiver, returner, whatever. Just amazing at breaking tackles, yards after catch, huge special teams plays. Like, this dude just had Kyle Shanahan, stamped all over him. Now, it was a little bit of a shock whenever he went undrafted. I had a 5th-round grade on him, and I was like, man, this guy just seems to make way too much sense. Well, it turns out he had an undisclosed injury and ends up getting waived. We'll go through his NFL process. But listen to me whenever I say Malik Knowles is number 67 and probably one of the most unheralded, least talked about players on this 91-man roster. Do not count him out. Do not count him out. Now, that's assuming health. We still don't know what the injury was that he, couldn't practice and got released from the Packers on. We still don't know what that is. But I'm telling you, this guy fits every single thing that the 49ers need at the wide receiver's position, especially with Debo gone. You have not fulfilled that break tackle, jet sweep, yards after catch. Yeah, Pearsall can do some of that. Juwan Jennings can do some of that. But, this guy is a plug-and-play Debo role type wide receiver. He wears jersey number 3, 6'2", 196. He's a big cat, 32-inch arms. He's only 24 years old. Ran a 4.4840. And you plug in all of his measurables because his size. This dude, he's got. Listen to these comps on mockdraftable.com. Marvin Harrison Jr., George Pickens, Corey Davis, Laviska Shenault, Justin Blackmon. He is built the right way, 6'2", 196, and just is electric. It's just what he is. He's a Texas boy, and so I do have to admit, a little bit of an inside track on this guy. I coached with some guys that coached him along his journey in high school and college. And, whenever I talk to those coaches, nothing but rave reviews. This is a coach's favorite, team captain, team whatever. He's got it. From Lake Ridge High School in Mansfield, Texas, went to Kansas State, majored in social sciences, and he was their guy. You go watch Kansas State tape whenever he was there. If it was 3rd and long, 4th quarter, goal line, it's going to Malik Knowles. He was the first, 2nd, 3rd priority in all of those situations and delivered time and time again. Played wide receiver and kick returner. In 51-game career at Kansas State, was there for 5 seasons, 7th in school history in touchdowns, 8th in receiving yard, tied for 9th in receptions, and 5th in all-purpose yards, almost 3,998 total yards. It didn't matter if it was rushing, receiving, punt returns, kick returns, check. This dude did it all. And he finished his time. He's 2nd in school history with career kickoff return yards, almost 1,700 return yards. I mean, just unreal. And he's one of 2 players in Kansas State's history, and we all know this other player, to rank in the top 10 in career receiving yards, kickoff return yards, and all-purpose yards. The only other player to do that is Tyler Lockett, who the 49ers have played against for a decade now. And again, you look at his time at Kansas State. 2nd team All-American, all Big 12. 2nd team All-American kick returner. 1st team All Big 12 kick returner. Honorable mention All Big 12. And it spans over 4 consecutive years. This dude had production on production on production, and it started from the he jumped off the film from the start. 2019, he was honorable mention for Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. This guy showed up and could play. And you look at what he was able to do in high school, deep into the playoffs with Mansfield, and was the go-to guy there on their amazing playoff run. Goes undrafted, to the Vikings, but again, was released on an injury statement. Undisclosed, still don't know what it is. Gets picked up by the Packers. And again, listen to the teams that picked him up. Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings. That's a Shanahan-McVay system. Then he goes to the Packers. Guess what? LaFleur, that's a Shanahan-McVay system. Now he's with the 49ers, and when the 49ers put Trent Taylor on IR, they didn't even hold like workouts or anything like that. They had Malik Knowles on the back page. And I never wish injury on anybody, and Trent Taylor's been awesome, and I hope that his back gets better and, he lives a great life. But, like, there was no ceiling play for Trent Taylor. It was catch a punt return safely and fall down after 3 yards. It was catch a hitch safely, fall down after 3 yards. That was it. With Malik Knowles, you're getting 7 years younger, faster, bigger, stronger, more electric, more versatile, can do special teams, can do all those things. Now, no NFL tape, and so you have to go back to college. And again, this was our 2023, so right, 2023, released undisclosed injury, 2024, still that injury. Is he healthy now? He passed the physical. This was our draft write-up before Malik Knowles got signed as an undrafted free agent. Rush Crush. He was one of 12 of my favorite players in that draft. I freaking loved watching him play. Listen to these PFF scores, 72.1. All right, that's whatever. Here are the traits. Electric playmaker that just needs the ball in his hands. Yak guy. Outside wide receiver with very smooth routes. Struggles first press. Like, I'm telling you, this is a bigger Debo. Now, is he Debo? Absolutely not. Nobody is Debo, but the similar play style, it's there. Returner and jet sweep upside. Good hands and will likely outperform his draft position. I've been wrong on that so far. Health is a big deal. But this was a 5th-round graded player that I just feel like there's such a place for him in the NFL. 3 rushing touchdowns in 2022. Tracks the ball well. Insane competitor. Huge yards after the catch for a screen guy. Top end speed isn't great, but he still made a lot of big plays. Was a running back in high school, but just kept growing. So then they converted him to kind of that wide back, whatever. Had 15 receiving touchdowns as a senior. At Kansas State, averaged 27.7 yards per kick return. Man, like there's a chance he can make the roster on that alone. Now, the expected draft position was 7th round undrafted free agent. We had a 5th round grade on him. He was my wide receiver 28. And the 49ers have gone after guys like this. Sam Okuwanu, he was signed on a practice squad, I think, to the Titans, and then, never got playing time, comes to the 49ers, develops into a solid rotational player. Tay Martin, he was another guy I think was on the Titans practice squad, never got to play, comes to us, develops into a special teamer that can kind of bring some versatility. And now it's Malik Knowles. These guys that, and the 49ers met with him in the draft process, so they knew who he was and were comfortable with him. They just didn't land him out of the gate. Now, here the hope is he's healthy. He signs a 1-year contract, $840,000, 0 guaranteed. So if he gets waived, costs you nothing. His career earnings, $300,000. Like, the fire, you see it on tape with certain players, the amount of competition and passion for the game. This kid has it. He's got financial incentives. He's a back end of the roster guy. Now, do I think he's going to make the 53? Probably not. He's going to have to pass guys like Isaiah Nair. You're going to have to pass vets like Isaiah Hodgins. Like, that's going to be difficult. Can he do it? It's very possible because he plays just such a versatile role where he could play all 3 of the receiver spots, plus punt returner, plus kick returner. If he could just make some electric plays in the preseason or training camp and just make it to where the 49ers cannot afford to cut this guy. Because right now, you could waive Malik Knowles from the 53 roster countdown and put him on the practice squad, worst case. Nobody's out there, chomping at the bit to take Malik Knowles. But if he puts something on tape, I'm telling you, if this guy gets opportunities, electricity is what he brings to the roster. And the 49ers don't have that Debo role. Yeah, I know Ricky Pearsall is going to play that Z role for the 49ers, but it's different. Malik Knowles can play that role like no other. I don't think he should be a starter, but I do think that he should be at least on the practice squad, elevated a few times as a returner and a wide receiver that could play multiple spots. 67 on the roster countdown. I love this dude. I really, really do. Just you see him play, and it's just like, gosh, man, it's there. It is there. Can he stay healthy? Can he take the most of his very limited opportunities he's going to have? There's a lot of wide receivers out there on this roster. Can he catch on? We'll have to wait and see. But, man, I'm telling you, do not sleep on number 3, Malik Knowles. And whenever he pops off in the preseason or training camp, you know where to go and say, I told you so. It is right here. Thank you to Ben, Zach, and Josh, and the rest of the 49ers Rush team, and we're just going to keep counting them down.